7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, the 14th of April. Mike in for Jamie. It's National Dolphin Day, and a very happy birthday to Sarah Michelle Gellar, Adrian Brody, Robert Carlyle, and Peter Capaldi. That was the Russian warship Moskva at Snake Island in the early days of the war, famously told to go away by Ukrainian troops. Now it's been hit and badly damaged by fire following what appears to be a Ukrainian missile strike. All 500 crew have been evacuated, according to Russia. Wednesday saw US President Biden stepping up his rhetoric against Russia and Vladimir Putin, for the first time referring to Russians' actions in Ukraine as genocide.
I called it genocide because it's become clearer and clearer that Putin is just trying to wipe out the idea of even being able to be a Ukrainian.
His remarks were condemned by Russia, with some European leaders, including France's President Macron, reluctant to engage in verbal escalations. Ukrainian President Zelensky welcomed Biden's remarks and warned that unless Ukraine gets more military support, it faces an endless bloodbath. He had a list of urgent requests for the West.
Ukraine needs weapon supplies. We need heavy artillery, armed vehicles, air defense systems, and combat aircraft. Anything to repel Russian forces and stop their war crimes.
Following a call with Joe Biden, the US is sending a further $800 million worth of urgent military supplies, including air defense systems, artillery, and military helicopters. There were no new fines announced over Partygate on Wednesday, but the repercussions of Boris and Rishi's refusal to resign continue to be felt. Conservative peer Lord David Wolfson quit his position as Justice Minister as he said the scale, context and nature of the Downing Street breaches were inconsistent with the rule of law. A YouGov poll showed that 57% of people felt that both the PM and Chancellor should resign, while Tory insiders believe there may still be at least 3 more fines to come for Boris. Labour's Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves says there is genuine anger about the Prime Minister's behaviour.
And the Prime Minister not only broke the rules, but he lied, and he lied about the lies, and then he lied again to the people and to Parliament.
She also says it's time for both of the men in charge to face up to the consequences of their actions.
He has never taken responsibility for the scale of the hurt that he has caused to people who made huge sacrifices. He no longer has the moral authority to lead. He has broken the ministerial code. Britain deserves better than the leadership that we have today, and it's time for the Prime Minister and the Chancellor to do the decent thing and to stand aside.
Transport Secretary Grant Shapps was sent out to defend the indefensible duo with no apparent understanding of how actions should have consequences.
I don't seek to justify it, but I also know that it wasn't done with malice or intent. As individuals, none of us are perfect. We're all human. The question in my mind, therefore, is did he set out with malice to break the law? Answer, no.
New figures from the Office of National Statistics show inflation has hit its highest level in 30 years. It's partly driven by fuel prices, but also by increases in food costs and price rises from hotels and restaurants. And there's no relief in sight, as it's projected to reach 9% in April. And at the worst possible time, the cost of student loans is set to rise to a maximum of an eye-watering 12% for the next 12 months. That's the figure for high-earning graduates, but the rises will be felt across the board. National Union of Students President Larissa Kennedy says it raises real questions about government policy on education.
So we're talking about a situation where just to access education, which of course is a human right, we're asking for students to be shackled into interest rates that are far higher than any average mortgage, far higher than the government's own kind of interest rates on their borrowing, far higher than people could even have accessed if they went to a private lender. So this is absolutely ridiculous, and it poses a really stark question about what the future of education in this country is going to look like.
Ali Herbie Ali was sentenced to a full life term on Wednesday for the brutal murder of Southend West MP Sir David Amess. Ali had self-radicalised and prepared a list of possible targets, including Michael Gove. Assistant Commissioner Matt Jukes read a statement from Sir David's family, who said they had no sense of elation at the verdict.
Our amazing husband and father has been taken from us in an appalling and violent manner. Nothing will ever compensate for that. We will wake each day and immediately feel our loss.
Still to come on the Smart 7, drama for Manchester City in the Champions League, and a Hollywood star visits the Derry Girls.
Right after this. Welcome back.
Two Premier League teams were in Champions League action on Wednesday night and both have made it through to the semi-finals, but it wasn't pretty. Tempers boiled over as Manchester City held Atletico Madrid to a goalless draw in Spain for a 1-0 aggregate win. Manager Pep Guardiola wouldn't talk about a mass brawl near the end of the game or a nasty confrontation in the tunnel after. City will return to Madrid for their semi-final against Real, while Liverpool will play Villarreal. With a 2-goal lead from the first leg, the Reds could afford to rest some of their star players, drawing 3-3 on the night with Benfica. It was all a bit sloppy for Kloppy, but he didn't seem to mind.
Of course, it was then not exactly what we wanted to do, but it's absolutely not important. We played the game we played, we are through. That's all I wanted, and I'm really happy.
Derry Girls is back for a third and final season on Channel 4. If you've not seen it yet, you are missing out. It's set in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, in Derry or Londonderry, depending on which side you're on. And it stars Nicola Coughlan, who is now also the star of Bridgerton, along with Tommy Tiernan, and for one episode only, international superstar Liam Neeson. Yep, the Strabane man and Hollywood legend turned up as a police officer in the opening episode, and the troublesome schoolgirls are in, well, some trouble.
We were just trying to
break them.
We would like to speak to a solicitor, please.
All in good time.
For the tape, the inspector is refusing us the right of legal representation.
There is no tape.
You're trying to stitch us up, aren't you?
Why would I do that?
Because we're Fenians.
That is a very serious allegation, girls.
Are you denying that your organisation is prejudiced, Inspector? For the tape, the inspector is refusing to answer.
There is no tape.
There's a brand new David Attenborough special on the way. It's on this Friday on BBC One and it documents the final days of the dinosaurs. It follows paleontologist Robert De Palma and his extraordinary discovery of a mass dinosaur graveyard which seems to date back to the very day of the famous asteroid hit on Earth. The catastrophic impact of a space object larger than Mount Everest hitting the planet unfolds as the scientists get to grips with what happened on that fateful day.
Then Robert comes across something that looks very unusual.
What is going on right there?
Are we sure this isn't crocodilian?
That's not crocodilian.
No.
I'll go in from the top and then twist up and it separates on right on that line.
Oh, that's skin right there. That's actually scaly skin. I think we got ourselves a dinosaur.
This has been the Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.